Well, good morning, good evening, and let's get that. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the ZwiftPower live broadcast of the ZRacing Neokyo Nights November 2023 series. We're on stage 4 at its Sprinters Playground for 2 laps. Draft, Arrow, and Ghost are the power-ups today. I'm Nathan Guerra. Dave Towle is next to me, and we are up for 25 kilometers of 2 laps. A little bit different than what we've seen in the first 3 stages, because I think this is a little bit longer than what the riders have been used to. Sprinters Playground, though, it's a flatter course, and you know what's interesting is usually on this in ZRL we have like FTS and FAL, but this is going to be a little bit more tactical, straight up scratch race, I think, Dave.
Yeah, it is really, when you do have the FTS and FAL going on, it is a 3-ring circus. Here we can really focus in on the finale, and ultimately there's going to be some interesting breakaways out here today as well. We've got some really spirited racers jumping in with the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's, Nathan. We've got a lot to look forward to here.
Yeah, we do. Well, let's jump right down into it. The A category has gotten out on course. We do have 54 riders. We'll be in with the B category as well. The B category, it was hard to even get to the front end of the pack with how many there are. I did see Blue Hat Scotty out there from that B category he said, I'm coming through clowns right from the get-go. And I think it had something to do with the fact that there were so many people out on course to try and get through here. Now, look at this, though, Dave. In the A category already, looking up ahead on course, there's a breakaway trying to make a move. They're about to head into this little castle area, Castle Park area, right-hand turn, first little sprint section. I don't know if they're going for some sort of a, let's just see who can be the boss of the sprint, but Becker here from Fusion is just on fire. Michael Podsline is here. Jean Worm up toward the front as well. I saw Tepo Loria was signed up. I'm not sure he's taking the start line today, but Dave, this is the hitters of the hitters here out in Z Racing.
Yeah, this is a really interesting group. That's Angel Jimenez, one of the dragons I'd be watching for today as well, the Spanish rider here. But yeah, the name of the game here is Let's Just Throw Down, which creates, again, with no FTS or FAL, racing to the finish line. It makes it a scratch race, but in all honesty, it turns into a real throwdown. So that's going to be, again, back to the front here as Villarino is the DZR rider pushing the pace. But again, with the A's, Nathan, you're not going to really find a weak link in this group. This peloton looks like, even though it's stretched out right now, a little bit of a gap opening up at the back. I think that these guys, maybe they were the ones that probably just didn't get a great warm-up, to tell you the truth. Is the intensity right off of the line is as high as you see in esports, no doubt.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here, Dave, I think a lot of the top riders are starting to learn that this new pack dynamics 4.1 are able to stretch things out in a new way until it eventually settles down. So I think we're going back to old school Zwift racing in some respects when it comes to starts of races. At least my experience. I raced yesterday the KISS 100. The first 30K, 20K or so of that, I'd say 20K of that race was full on coming out trying to swing in round 1 knockout feeling. And we were able to kind of break things apart a little bit. And what I'm seeing here, because of all the cornering over and over again here, Dave, look at this again. Pods line to the front. Watch how this spreads out a little bit. And maybe, no, we're not going to see the top 30 or 40 fall off this pack, but we may see, as we just see at the back of that pack, do you see how there's riders? Well, somebody's going off into an alleyway. I don't know
left.
I've never that guy was literally in one of the shops. That was so crazy. I need to get a replay of that. I'm clipping
Something
that
must
one.
have caught their eye there. But no, Nathan, I really...
Do you know what I'm saying, though, Dave? That they're starting to see
Absolutely.
these separations at the back that in the past, maybe not as much.
I tell you what, Nathan, to me, and watching this action at the front right now, again, no bonuses here, but there's a lot of action with Michael Podsley, the man out of Connecticut. But Nathan, in real life racing, very much what you're talking about holds true there. I mean, your average criterium, whether it's the 1-2 race or the 3s or 4s here in the States, they generally go hard for the first 10, 15 minutes of the race just to do a little bit of sorting, to tell you the truth. In real life, a lot of that's about bike handling. Is that you want to get rid of the less experienced riders early, just so that when they get in over their head, you don't have a crash happening right in front of you. Obviously, that's not an issue here in esports, but the same sort of mindset, I think. There is a threshold that you have to pass over to make the front peloton. Right now, John Verm, one of the most talented esports riders on the planet right now, is pushing the issue. And you can see that's going to get quite a response, Nathan, is everybody's going to want to be in a move with Verm. Mossop making his way up for ESRT. This is a full-on race here in the first 6K. I mean, Nathan, they've been keeping an average speed of over 50 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying. As you can see, EP now to the front, and things are starting to have a little bit of separation at the back. And Dave, I think that was a section just now that we saw. Oh, and Ozer, one of the
that was
favorites.
Ozer, yeah,
100% one of the favorites out there had a connection error. I think he's off the back at this point. That is a huge upset for the Hexagon team. They are one of the biggest names right now in the world of esports, and that's one of their main men. Too bad to hear. Now he's off the back. So, well, that's a part of it, though, isn't it, Dave? And James Young is having some problems. It looks like there's a couple of connection situations. I think that's just local internet, though. But, Dave, as a lot of times we say, there's flat tires in real life. Well, there's network connections in Zwift.
Yeah, and it seems to have hit two of the bigger names that we've got in the race. I've always wondered what Ozer's situation was in Turkey, what his Zwift cave looked like. As we've noted that Hexagon has more than just a few. There's a really strong Turkish contingent on that team. It looks like this is going to be...
Becker again?
Yeah. So Becker's second time we've seen the Danish rider on Fusion make a move. He's clearly putting an invitation out there. Even though we still have nearly 20K of racing remaining, he wants to make a move today, obviously.
Yeah, Becker continues to press the pace here. And this is that sometimes that danger moment when you can sense that everybody's kind of settled it down. You get past that 5 to 10 minute mark. A lot of times the VO2 efforts have already been done kind of at that point. They've put it out there. The nitrous oxide initial kick has been burned and people are starting to suffer a little bit. Podsline now trying to make another move. 9 watts per kilogram kicking from him. Look at the fire coming from the socks there, up and out of the saddle. 154 beats per minute, but rising quickly here coming from Podsy. As AMM, Zandarski is there as well. Keeper trying to keep the net from any goals being scored on him at this point. Right-hand turn here. A little bit of Zwift playing happening from Mikey Podzaline as Becker looks to jump on. The separation, is it going to happen here, Dave? Still solid pack behind with a good draft. They got to string this out a little more, I think, before we're going to see any serious danger.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan, it's like the one-hit wonders. Nobody has a full album yet when we look at what's going on the front here. So I thought Podzaline might want to collaborate there, but it just right now, these guys are hitting out and letting the chips fall where they may, as you look at. I mean, when you make an attack like this, Nathan, at this point in the race with a peloton that strong behind you, what is your mindset if you're Michael Podzaline right now? Is this a breakaway? Is this just stretching your legs, getting some TV time here on Zwift Community Live, or all of it, or none of it? It's really hard to say at this point.
So a lot of times, here's how I judge a break like this, Dave. It's a great question. And you punched at the orange, and then you watch them settle in to whether or not they're settling in at something that's 5 watts per kilogram or more. And he's settling at a 4 here, which is interesting. I feel like that's not, I think Podsy's got more than that. I'm famous.
I do
That's
too.
what it's about. It's about I'm famous is what he's saying. but I think this is more about trying to instigate something to jump across, because he'd be doing a lot more than that if he was trying to continue to get this to go further and further out. So, but you see, it worked. Villarino here now jumping across.
This is a call and response, right? I mean, you put out the word and you see what happens. And this is what happens, is it's going to be Villarino coming up, the DZR rider. Villarino, a decidedly non-Danish sounding last name, I must say. But here we go. As soon as he makes the move, that then triggers this, which is an avalanche of watts now. As we take a look at EP, the Canadian coming up, that man certainly canucking up right now. So, Nathan, interesting, isn't it, how you watch the dynamic of this race playing out in the first third here. But more or less, we're back to Grupo Compato for the A's. 2 laps today, 25K, Draft, Ghost, and Arrow, the power-ups. And you can see a smattering of a couple of them right there, but back again to the vanguard of the race as EP right now looks like going to be brought back into the fold. So go ahead and hit the reset button here, just under 10K in now for a race that, I don't know, Nathan, I would say is destined for a sprint in the finale, but maybe not the way these guys are racing today, as it looks like you've been able to call up Turcotte here, the Optimum rider, one of the Canadians there on in our B field.
Yeah, Turcotte here. Great to see as Maxime. He's off the front actually in this B category. Great to see from him as Maxime Turcotte here coming in at 173 and 75 kilograms. Level 44 Zwifter here. 2 seconds up here from the pack, similar to what we saw from Podsline just a moment ago here, Dave. But I'm not sure, he's been kind of steady all day long. And look at that. It looks like he's a triathlete, Dave. I have a feeling perhaps that's what he was going for, was to steady off the front all day. But it doesn't look like that's going to be happening as he's caught quickly by the pack. But that pack was 144 a little bit earlier, Dave. At this point, though, it has been whittled down, I think, to maybe a top, I want to say 60 or 70 are still in and amongst this B category.
Yeah, and it's got to be encouraging as you watch that move, Maxime coming back into the group, but it took a whole bunch of drafting power-ups as well to right that ship there. So good effort out here by Maxime Turcotte as the Optimum Riders back in our B peloton. Huge group, and got to give a shout out to the B's, C's, and D's, just the way they turn up every Monday. Very, very impressive. So Neokyo Nights well underway here. It's only a matter of time until another attack goes, and there you can see it as
really the Viking? A Viking here,
I believe
front, Dave.
Yeah, I believe so, Nathan. Really, I mean, I'm waiting for that group of 4 or 5 to come together in any of these A's, B's, C's, or D races. As one rider is never going to hold off a peloton on a course like this on a day like this, in my mind, but the right mix just might.
Sir, go home. AAC. This is a familiar name, the AAC riders. They've been showing up in force here, specifically for the ZRacing. Be on the watch out for the Swedes. Very strong team. Sergerholm that's an interesting little push here at the front. Always interesting here with a little bit of a Zwift play here and trying to instigate something. It did get some moves, some responses here from the pack. And it looks like his teammate coming up and over the top.
Yeah, watch the fem cap there. Got to give extra props for that. So looking forward to that. It seems like it's like Christmas time when you talk about Tour de France for the women. It's going to be Bax that we're with now here, the STR rider.
Sorry about that. There's some lapped riders ahead here. As you see, they start to lap around on the same section of course. So
really
the riders
quickly
nearby end up being ahead there on the rider nearby list. So apologies on that. But Oscarsson, now
this
again,
is not
AAC,
a lap rider. Yeah.
Yeah, AAC again on the move.
I felt like maybe that was his teammate trying to set him up a little bit there in the run in to that sector here, but everything comes back together now for our Bs.
Are the players available in Sweden? They must be, because they, like, every Swede as it seems like, especially AAC, it's almost like they like coordinated to have these things specifically for the racing.
You could also say that the economy is pretty strong in Scandinavia as well.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely have the force in numbers here as well as in the gameplay. As you can see,
good for them.
They continue to push the pace here on the front.
Remember a couple of years ago, Zwift did a nations challenge. Remember that, Nathan? And Sweden came out on top, and I don't think too many folks were surprised pound for pound.
Isn't that like, it's amazing to me though, like the amount of participation in Sweden when it comes to Zwift. It's pretty awesome to see, honestly.
It really is awesome. And I mean, it's making the most of the long, dark winters that they have up there for sure. And Swedish people, like we talk about Sisu with our Finnish friends. Well, that construct really applies to all of Scandinavia in my mind. I mean, Scandinavians have always been very much outdoor people who really seem to appreciate the finer things in life that come through being outside and getting exercise. I don't know too many people would argue that.
Well, Becker's at it
Scandinavians got it going on.
Off the front. Becker again, off the front, as you can see here, making a move. One of his teammates, Fusion Dev, trying to go across. It looks like Podsline now looking to respond as they are 13.2 kilometers in. They're halfway through this race already, Dave.
Yeah, and Nathan, I mean, we're getting close to getting that mix. If Virino wants to get up there, we might have that 3-4 rider breakaway as Becker and Podsline. It looks like Leonard now as well becoming a part of this conversation. So this is actually the moment, Nathan, here. I think the cream is rising to the top. now, starting in front of our very eyes here, the stronger riders starting to come together. This could be a dynamic moment, or the peloton could en masse try to come up and shut this whole thing down. They might want to do that. I think that this is right now a problem starting to emerge here on the front of the bike race if you're not one of these riders like
It's
Beckner,
close.
Fiorino, or Michael Pozzolin.
This is close, Dave. Things are starting to get a little bit wild at the front here. You can see a little bit of distance. And when I'm trying to make a break, I'm always looking for that distance below. At the bottom of the screen, you can see 18 meters, 13 meters. Now when it gets within 15, I'm like, oh, okay, I got shut down. And then I'm looking for the counter. And you're always watching for that counter that strings it out enough that you end up with about 20 meters between you and the rest of the pack. They have no draft at that point usually, and you're able to try and make that move stick. If I were anybody that were on the chase and has saved anything at this point, I definitely would have been trying to come up over the top with some serious speed. At 45 kilometers per hour on a negative 1% gradient, they could be doing 50 to 55 with a full gas attack, and that's exactly what's happening perhaps at the front right now. In the black jersey, we'll see if we can get a name on that kit.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the biggest sprinters in this race, talent-wise, not in this group, it really creates quite a dynamic, doesn't it? Did James Young recover, Nathan? I've been trying to scan and see if Young has made this peloton. He was also dealing with some issues early in the race.
Yeah,
and
I'm thinking if James Young's is still
I don't
here with
think he
us.
is.
Has he made it? No, and that's a big name to be out of the contention here.
It is. I mean, I think the two biggest names, if you were going to start handicapping favorites, Nathan, aren't here. So, I mean, is Ingo Reichardt here? Yes, he is. That certainly is interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the next 10K, because that's the moment we're at. We've entered the business end. And Nathan, the fact that I hadn't mentioned Ingo Reichardt's or you, Ingo Reichardt's name, one of the really talented riders here, he's kept his powder dry, for lack of a better term. And I have a feeling that you're going to hear that name. Look where he's positioned right now. That's the sweet spot. He's getting maximum draft, but not putting his nose into the wind until it really, really matters. So he's right where he needs to be. And it's going to be interesting to see how he manages the last 10K here.
Yeah, and Ingo tends to be one who waits for those perfect moments to go. It is a one-move wonder a lot of times for him, isn't it, Dave? A lot of times he will just wait, and not use any of that energy until it's all in, ready to go. And I think a lot of the riders might start to be, I mean, you notice Ingo in there and that he hasn't been doing a whole lot. You're waiting for that move, aren't you?
Absolutely. No, when you look at it, here goes Podzolin. I think Podzolin wants to get out in front of this problem. So the man right now, he has taken him to school here as Podzolin is going to turn this last 9K into a real adventure. So this is it. Bike racing at its very best going on now, Nathan. As this is the third time that Michael has attacked. This time he is pushing all of his chips into the middle of the table. More fire socks.
Yeah, Podsy here now, 7.6 watts per kilogram. This is a serious move, actually, Dave. This is not messing around. This is
the numbers are so high.
He's all in on this one. This is, I don't think that this is a test or anything. This is, come on, we need to make this break. We do not want this to end up in a bunch sprint. And if it's not going to, this is the move that has to be made.
Yeah, and I think, Nathan, with this distance, he doesn't expect to go the whole way alone. The peloton are playing their cards right. I mean, if they want to neutralize Podzolin, they're doing a pretty good job of that, because now what you do is you just shut it down. I mean, you can look at it. I'm on Michael's side. I always will be. I love the spirit of this battler. But back behind him, the peloton realizes that that's a danger, man. We're going to need to work and collaborate together to neutralize this problem. And the big winner here is going to be Ingo Reichardt. No doubt about it. He's not the man leading the chase. Right now, he is the Tom Sawyer of this group. He's getting everybody else to paint the fence, but he's going to get the credit at the end if he can be in this group and sprint. So that's a good look at Michael Podzolin. Now, that's no triathlete. That's a criterium racer. Right there.
Me out. Loving it. Look at that. Yeah, nice cornering going on here. Well, speaking of cornering, EP is coming right over the top of him, though, here, Dave. As EP, this is a rider to watch out for, too. He's also got the crazy watts all day long. We'll see what he can do here. Just try and stay away, though, as he goes up and over the top.
Yeah, Nathan, EP is a rider that I'm going to have to dig in on. This is a talent, no question. A wattage cottage, and look how they handle this one as it's going to be keeper. It looks like Becker is back up. I'd expect a counterattack coming from Becker now as well. It is frenetic on the front. This is exactly what these guys signed up for. Nathan, this 25K is going to go by in just a heartbeat out here. Well, I guess for these guys, it probably doesn't feel this way as they are really in deep now. But Becker, certainly the most active rider of the day, along with Michael Podzaline here. And yeah, I mean, if we had a most aggressive rider award, I think I'm giving it to Nicholas at this point, Nathan.
Yeah, Nicholas absolutely flying here. Level 60 Zwifter. I got to have a little conversation, though, with Podsy. Level 59? Really, Podsy? What's going on here, buddy? He's been showing up to almost every single broadcast we've had forever, and he's not level 60? What is going on here?
I'm going to guess that if you look at the percentage of kilometers that are racing versus training, Michael's probably super high on the racing side of things. This is one of our all-time favorites as you take a look at Charles McCarthy here, the Velocio rider. It'll be great to see Charles McCarthy get a big win on a Monday. He's been doing the work, no doubt about it. He's going to put a few more riders behind the 8-ball, causing a little bit of a split up near the front. Holmstrom, Nathan, has been right there all day. I'm going to be watching out for him in the finale.
Well, McCarthy trying to make a little bit of a move here, trying to set up for some sort of a break, not wanting to come down to a sprint. What's the question here, Dave, that needs to be answered? It is, who's got the sprinter's legs, isn't it, Dave? I mean, that's going to be, oh, James Young, where did he come from?
He is there. He is there. Just saw that too, Nathan.
Whoa.
That's so in a green jersey right there, sitting in the first 10 wheels. So just kind of positioning himself right now. Watch out for, Nathan, you're answering the question there. He's one of, it looks to me like there's 6 or 7 riders and raw watts that can make over 1,000. Graham Miller of the Dirt team is one of them, but James Young, for me, with experience, savvy, he just has a nose for the finish line, and certainly the MTNT riders one I'm going to be watching for out here today. In the finals.
Big jump here. Big jump. Cancer team here. F Cancer team off the front. This is huge.
Well, let's see what this does, because this brings us down really to 5K to go here, Nathan. This has been the story of the day, establishing 2-3 second gap, and that's about all the leash the Peloton is going to be giving.
Look at this guy.
Ripped. Good grief.
Follow. Jeez, dude. This and the bikes in the background.
Cancer does not want anything to do with this guy.
Not one bit. He's going to
rip Cancer's worst nightmare is that Paulo comes after it. Yeah. Well, good. Keep fighting cancer out there, Paulo.
As he still doing so off the front, 6.3 watts per kilogram.
What do you think of the kit?
Yeah, look, loving the kit here.
Wow, there's a lot going on.
Wait a second here. Yeah. Is this who I think it is? Dave, we've got world participant as well here. Is that going to be Chudik? It is. So Chudik is showing up as well.
Jonathan.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, I had no idea that he had shown up today.
He raced at the World Championships representing the United States this last year. Help me out, but I thought it was Restart was the team.
Yeah, I think Turbo. I think he's a Turbo guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Joseph Chudik hammering away here. And I think, Dave, this is a rider to watch out for a very late 3K, 2K to go, 1K even attack. I don't think he wants a sprint situation. I think he actually wants to make some sort of moves, but he's been so quiet up to this point.
Did the national team kit, was that what triggered you on that one? Because I noticed that earlier, and I was wondering.
Actually, and in the KISS 100, and he's got quite the punch, but he's one of these riders that, I mean, he can punch really, really hard for a long period of time, but he doesn't necessarily have a all-out 15-second sprint. It's more of a, he can go for 1, 2, 3 minutes, just full gas, watch out kind of situation.
Boy, that is some serious inside cycling tip that you're giving to the rest of this field here. And I don't think Joseph is going to mind. Well, I bet he minds a little bit, but and that's what we're here for, is to get a great workout, and all is fair as far as, Jay, when you look at it, Joseph is definitely underselling his talent by using just his initials, right? Just kind of low key, and that's fine. But now that everybody knows who he is, that's certainly, Nathan, going to change things. I would be paying a lot more attention to the rider in the national team kit for the United States. And that, that's bike racing. When you get results, there's a target on your back. It becomes harder and harder to win the more you win. But the flip side of that is you get more support, recognition. So it's a two-way street, isn't it? With success comes more success, but also comes more challenge. And here you go, Ghost Power up from Nicholas Becker as he's going to try to close down that gap. That's the Spanish rider, AMM, up front. It's just a 1 second gap. Becker should arrive any moment now. And there you go. We've got a new leader as Nicholas Becker is going to take this down to a little over 3K to go in his fourth attack of the event. And Becker now has been in the bank. He's got the money and he's in a getaway car with a 5 second advantage here, Nathan. Wow.
What I really like about Becker here is he's not caring whether or not AMM gets on the wheel. I tend to be a rider who will ride up to a wheel and then be like, all right, are we working together or not? He is just like, I don't care what anybody else around me is doing. I am just going. And if you're coming with me, get on the train or it's leaving this station now because this is all in move for the win, 3K to go.
Here comes Hambry, or excuse me. That's going to be Apollo, F Cancer rider that is trying to bridge up here. Podzoline right, maybe getting, yes, with him now. So there's two big engines trying to bridge up. So it's all hands on deck at this point, Nathan. We go inside of 3K to go. That's going to be the Wahoo Lacole rider, Michael Podzoline. Both he and Nicholas have been two of the more animated riders, and Paulo, the F Cancer rider, right with him. So we've had a chance to meet Michael Podzoline quite a bit over the last few months. As you want to talk about a rider who is really bringing his A game to esports, and it looks like it's amazing, Nathan, that with just over 2K to go, we're having what I was anticipating would happen at some point. It sure took a long time to arrive, but it looks like we've got four of the stronger riders in the race coming together here with a few seconds in the bank. This could go any direction.
2 seconds, Dave. 2 seconds is the situation here now at this point as AM continues. They are separating, though, Dave. This can work. They've got to get across, though, those other two if they want to be involved here. Because AMM, he is completely invested now at this point. Is that pack going to be able to chase this back down? There's a rider, Ingo Reichardt, sitting about fourth or fifth wheel now at this point. He's going to be thinking, is that gone? I would not be surprised one bit if we see a massive attack and a jump across if things get a little bit out of control.
And Nathan, right at that moment now, Ingo is really benefiting from the ambitions of other riders in this group as it looks like there's enough motivation to bring this back. Will they be able to hit the reset button? It's certainly starting to look like it. That's the man that I'm calling my favorite here at this point inside of 1.5 kilometers of racing until this one is done and dusted. It is absolute pandemonium here in Neokyo. That is a great shot there of what the riders have got in front of them. You can see there's 4 riders up the road. These 4 are super talented, but this peloton is hell-bent for leather to bring this back together. Will Reichardt get a chance at it? Don't forget that James Young has quietly been sitting in this group, and there's Joseph Chuik as well, the Stars and Stripes jersey of the U.S. Worlds team member. Nathan, here we go. We are locked and loaded. This is not a drill. Big-time bike racing back here in Neokyo.
3 up front here now, Dave. 3 seconds is the gap. Can they hold on? 1K to go, and Bob from the ESRT jumps at 11 watts per kilogram. Massive kick here, knowing that the threat is here as they head into the arcade. The draft goes a little bit away from them at this point now, Dave. It's under 800 meters, and Bob has gone across. Standarski's now coming. John Worm, Bauer's there as well. AMM still driving at the front.
And this is the last charge now. Absolute pandemonium. And it looks like they're just going to make the catch as they come out of the casino. So, Nathan, it's the race out of the arcade. Now everybody's going to be completely at their limit. How about Bob, the ESRT rider, able to get up there? And now the final surge.
Yeah, and here we go at the front now. F Cancer trying to make a move. It's going to be 13 watts per kilogram coming from him, but up at the front is Bauer. Bauer trying to hold on. Here comes the Arrow Power up here. 300 meters to go to the line. 300 meters to the line. Cancer up over the top, but it's going to be Joseph Churik. Joseph Churik trying to jump onto it. Ingo Reichardt, 16 watts per kilogram from Reichardt. Did he time it perfectly? He did. Reichardt makes it happen. Churik for third. Cancer was able to hold on there. It was Paulo for second, I believe, as Churik was able to just hold on to a podium spot. Cancer holds on for a second. I mean, Paulo F Cancer team.
Man.
That was some of the best racing we've seen in a while there. Great job all around. Absolutely love it. But Reichardt, the hold, the line, right, Dave?
A clinic right there. Patience is critical. If you believe in yourself and you know you've done the work, you've got the watts in the bank. That's exactly how you do it. Good job by Joseph as well, getting up there for the finale. Really played his race similar to the way that Ingo Reichardt did. Credit to the men who went after it. They certainly made this into. I mean, Nathan, racing doesn't get any more exciting than that. That's really what it's all about, for sure. You can talk all you want about the name, the title of the race, but when these athletes show up and really want to throw down, well, that's what you get. It's absolutely awesome. And we got the Bees coming in hot. They've got about let's call it 1.5K grouped together. Nathan, I'm doing a quick scan here, and I don't see anybody off the front. So this is the Tête de la Corsa, the front of the bike race.
Yeah, interesting to see here. Blue hat now making a little bit of a move. He's not. He's off the back. I'm bad. My bad.
Oh, no.
99th place. Is that right? Was he lapped then? I think he waited. That's interesting because he's with these riders. He's actually with them. Huh. Interesting that he's back with. Now this is planned. Back pedal. Big move from back pedal here, Dave. Completely planned here with Denmark and Netherlands here with Hagqvist and Volkhoff making this move. They didn't see him. They're both in the new back pedal kit. Great to see, actually, that they have this. They were asking if we were going to be able to have it in the broadcast, and we do.
I saw
and Dave,
that.
800 meters to go. They're off the front.
Okay, this will go down in the Ghost Hall of Fame as the super ghost moment because, Nathan, they use that power up, which I'm not saying people have thrown shade on it, but it's not the most effective power up, but they just turned that around as backpedal, new kit, looking great. Hagqvist here and Volkhoff. Is it enough? We don't know yet because this is going to go right down to the line. They used their power up nearly perfectly. Look at the charge coming from behind them, Nathan. If they got enough watts in the bank to pull this one off, this would be the greatest heist that we've seen all year.
Oh, it's so close though, Dave. I've been trying to come across here. They're kind of fighting for speed now. 52 kilometers per hour. Wheatstraw's now coming. Wheatstraw's coming. Hagqvist holding all the way to the line. They made it happen. Wheatstraw. I think Wheatstraw nipped one of them at the line. I'm not positive. We're going to have to double check that one on the replay, Dave.
Well, we know Mr. Wheatstraw. That's his MO.
His signature.
Modus operandi.
Right.
Signature move right there. The rest of the B group comes through. Nice job, backpedal. You made history for the Ghost power up today. I'm going to say that they pulled it off.
I have to wait and see here. It looked to me. I think they got first for sure, but I don't know about third.
Get first. So they got two spots on the podium too.
Yeah,
either
second
way.
or third. I'm not absolutely positive about. Right here, we'll see.
We'll have to go back to the API to see ultimately.
For sure, you're right. Yeah, you're right. True.
I hate
Look
to be
that
the
arrow. No, you're right. That's true though. That's so true.
We look at this photo because it's so and I mean
he got him on the inside. He got him on the. I'm gonna call it. I think he got him on the inside.
If that was an in real life finish line, there would be fist fights at that line with that angle there. It definitely caused a lot of challenges. That's for sure. You kind of want it squared up.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, Dave, we've got another 1K to go, or no, 2K to go situation here, actually.
Oh, the C's?
In the C category. And the C category is already starting to ramp things up here a little bit. We're jumping in with Moreni. Great to see. And so as they come into this final 2K, had a little bit of an attack off the front, but haven't been able to make it happen just yet.
I have to ask our research department, Nathan, about how many times does the rider leading out of the arcade end up winning the race? It's not going to be often. to tell you the truth. It might even be less than 1 in 10 times that the rider first out of the arcade wins, just because of the dynamics. It's pretty
Yeah, I
rare
mean
on
that's
this
a
course that a
pretty. I
solo
think
break.
that is a rare one. It is really rare. I think actually, interesting enough. So
You could be down into the 1 in 20 times that the first rider out of the arcade wins, which would be really rare, right, at 500 meters to go. Uh, but just the way that this course finishes, it's just a mad rush to the line. And with those turns as well, the riders using Zwift Play, wow, this is a great course for you.
well, Morandi was just making a move out the front, was unable to make it happen though, as we could see. So it looks like we're gonna have a reset altogether. Plenty of riders here, Dave. Still, same as we saw in that B category, not able to get any kind of a breakaway situation just as of yet. But as we head into the arcade here, Morandi now sitting in. And it's going to be at the front in the red jersey. We'll see if we can figure out exactly who that is for you as they're about to open things up. Very different situation, though, Dave. Now, finally, we do see a ghost power up, but they're all holding their cards, aren't they?
They sure are. Nathan, there's a rider in this race that can make almost 1,200 watts of raw power at 111 kilo, right? So if he is in this group, that's Richard Lutton, the Englishman that I'm talking about. If he's in this group, it'll be fun to watch how he sprints. Beeblebrox is back, the herd rider, another Zwift Community Live favorite. Collins to the front. So Nathan, they're going to make this
Smith.
a tough finish. Yep.
Smith, Dave. It's always Smith. He's on it again. Will Paul Smith do it? Oh no, he's got a challenger, Dave. Grunberg. What? Right to the line? No, Grunberg does it. He did it.
Holy cow.
He got the better of
Grunberg,
Smith.
Rybert, Smith, all up there in this one. These are the big hitters in our C category. Great racing, guys.
Well, it really jumped around on me at the end there, honestly. I was like,
Grunberg, though. How about this AAC team? Very impressive group. We've been racing on the front in just about every category that we've seen. This is the finale, taking another look at the last couple 100 meters here. We've had a good time watching Paul Smith, the Atomic Racing Rider, race, getting a good feel for his finishing speed. But Grunberg not playing around.
That was a weird. I've never seen that before. That was a really weird jump around in the placings. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
The placings like kind of suddenly. I'm just gonna rewind that real quick while I find the D's. But I've never like he was in 12th all of a sudden. Did you see that for a second? That was really odd.
Huh. A little glitch.
Yeah, some sort of a suddenly they were like, where I thought I had like messed it up. I was like, am I on the right person here? What's going on?
Found the sprint portal.
Well, I hope there is a sprint portal. We don't know.
There's not supposed to be one. But
I need to know. How do I find the how do I find the sprint portal? Please help me out here
I
with
just invented the sprint portal. Yeah.
Well, we're in with Timor. I think this is the front end of the D category race.
There's no sprint portal, people. I promise.
Oh, man. I love it.
That would be awesome if you found a sprint portal. You've ridden enough, Nathan. You deserve it if it exists out there, but it doesn't. Sadly. All right, you found the D's. Thanks. I love the fact, Nathan, this is what Zwift Community Live is all about. On days like today, it plays out perfectly that we get to watch all 4 finishes out here. The D's now down inside of 2K to go, the penultimate kilometer well underway. Jay Jukes, I like that name. Toby Moore getting a look at. Yeah, Toby just is invisible, but he's got a bike.
He is a bike. That's his that's his spirit animal. He's a bike. Actually, is that a road bike? That looks like a gravel bike, I think. Yeah, I think it's a gravel bike.
And he's kind of breaking the rules of so I worked for some bike brands in my life, so technically you got to flatten those pedals out and flip the drivetrain around. You want to take the shot from the drivetrain side.
Yeah, you do. Yep, that's true. Right. I always remember being told that one.
I even worry about where your valves are located. So
yeah, I used to not care. I used to not care, but I've gotten to the point that I actually put the valve alongside the tire in the right place when I'm putting my tires on.
Hey, thank you.
Everybody's gotten
lining up your hot patch on the
I'm
tire.
such a
with
classic mountain biker. We used to not care, and then the mountain bikers got changed up. You know, we're all about the looks now
Got
too. All right, we're in
rotified.
with
Yeah.
what is this? What's this country flag? This is
Ingo's out cruising still. That's our man Ingo
Nicholas.
Reichardt, winner
Oh, how
of
did we
the
end up
A
with
race.
Ingo Reichardt here? How did that happen? All right, no, he's out there getting his cool down in.
Still
We
working
need to
out.
get in with. There we go. My mistake. Preaklis Martins. Let's see if he can lead things out. He is for the D's category here now at this point. Level 42 Zwifter,
like a
less
cool
than
guy.
K to go. 800 meters, Dave, and the sprint's about to open up.
Yeah, they got this group down from 70, don't they? I'm going to say that doesn't even look like 30, maybe 25 in the front group that we've got right now.
Nice little jump here from Ostruth, coming out of Germany. It looks like. Is that right? Vanessa, I think, is the name here. Making a good move.
A good honor if it is, yeah.
She's going to hold on, I think, to this one. Maybe. No. Here come the boys now trying to make the catch. It is going to be Wallen out of Sweden. I think Wallen's going to make it happen, I think. Perhaps 8-9 watts per kilogram. Still a couple of kicks coming in from behind. It's going to be Gordon Sloan from the Rhinos, though. Rhinos making a move. And Sloan to the line. It looks like Sloan is going to make it happen. It looks like right there. Just catching Vanessa. Wow. Takes it over. Gordon's always got a good kick. He's always one to watch out for sure.
Legendary Rhino right there. It feels good getting a Rhino win in today,
Rhino.
too.
I like that. He's a legendary Rhino. And he is a level 60. Come on, Podsy. Gordon's got it on you.
59 is such a tough neighborhood to live in.
That's a long. It's a huge. Like it's actually a lot of experience to get out of level 59. Like it's a ton. It's a good amount.
I mean, I'm going to guess that the amount of riding level 59 is probably the same as going from level 1 to level 16 or something, as far as the amount of time that it's a lot. Yeah. No doubt. Boy, we got to see a lot of our old friends racing out there today, Nathan. Feels really good. I mean, it's weird. We're right in the middle of the season, but I'm still so excited after a couple of days to get back into the racing. And this is exactly why these events really take you away, don't they? Once you immerse yourself in the race, just all the other rest of the world goes away for a little while, which is a big part of the joy of Zwift.
Now, just a heads up to everybody who's tuning in and watching, make sure to update your Zwift profiles with any of your profile pictures that you are looking for to have up there. A lot of times people wondering how maybe those are coming in. Make sure to update your Zwift profiles on your companion app with a cool, high-quality pic, and we'll make sure that we get those on there.
We love seeing them.
We absolutely love it. It's really great. It really brings a face, right, Dave? Really brings a face to the avatar.
And a little bit of what you're about, right? Like maybe something outside of Zwift that you're into, or if you're particularly proud of your bike or your pain cave, we love seeing it. So keep it up. But Nathan's right. Now is a great time to redouble your effort. Everybody out there, go ahead and update your picture there for us, because we're going to see it.
Let's go ahead and jump down in and see what the results were for us today. Well, today it was Ingo Reichardt at the front, Dave, with the 31:42.
Look at these names, though. And Paulo, you keep fighting cancer, man. Very, very impressive by the Portuguese rider there. And Joseph Choik there for third today. Good to see Joseph getting it ramped back up. John Verm, the legendary Swede, there in fourth. Jan Bauer for fifth. Scorekeeper in sixth. James Young. I think James had a challenging race to get up into that group. Always good to see James out there for seventh today. Kuba Standerski of the MTNT team in eighth. Charles McCarthy. Always good to see out racing Charles in ninth. And Angel Jimenez, Dragons, in full effect, 10th for our A's. Nathan, I bet you got the B's ready to go there.
Yeah, we got the B's ready to go. Hey, Matt Wheeler, I appreciate your comments. Just so you know, Matt, I do. And at the top end of the sport, and as things get more and more developed, we will do our best across. And but this, with the B category, Jonas Hagvis from Backpedal coming on through with the 33:38. Petey Wheatstraw ends up a second. He did nip it at the line there, just ahead of Bokov for Backpedal at 33:38. The Dark Knight in fourth is followed up by Tobias Hindemith there from Zwift Club in fifth. Jostein Broseth in sixth. It's going to be Patrick Molinari from Jet in seventh. Graham from Dirt HHS HHs, I think is what that is. In 8th, it's going to be Dan Manalo for CRP, OTR in 9th, and Darren Mills from the Dirt team coming on through in 10th. I do want to shout out to Matt too as well. Z Racing is all about introductory racing. It's about having fun. It's about smashing the pedals here. And I think as we continue to develop the esport, I think hopefully we can start to see a couple of other, and we already do have a couple of other places where the high end verified racing. Hence this Saturday ERL. Good transition into ERL, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah, really looking forward to that, Nathan. The Echelon Racing League is going to be fantastic. There's some new dynamics at play that I think just level up the seriousness of the competition. So I can't wait to see what we've got coming up on the 2nd of December. So just this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Andreas at the top here. Grunberg, he made it happen just ahead of Oliver Ribbert. It's going to be Paul Smith, ART, in 3rd place. Lucas Bergqvist, AAC, in 4th. Torsten Mortag, Dirt there, in for 5th. Pete Watkins Dub in 6th place. Peter Backlund there in 7th. Nicholas Zoltquist in 8th. And Tim Campbell, 9th. Philip Van Opstel in 10th. That's your top 10 in the C category. D's categories coming right on up.
All right. And it's Roland Howard, the legend Rhino, is your winner here. Great job today, Roland. Casper Valen for silver in 2nd, and Martin Spriculus in 3rd today. Gordon Sloan, another Rhino there in 4th. It's going to be Tosin of the NZ Pro team in 5th. Vanessa, you're my hero. Vanessa Ostus in 6th today. Cyril Henry for 7th. Toby Moore for 8th. Niels de Broegraf in 9th. I think I did really well with that one, Nathan. And Andrew Nicholas in 10th. I'm practicing my names in our
it's good.
time.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Loving it. Well, tomorrow is the Zwift Racing League. We're covering the C categories across the entirety tomorrow. And the chat, it never changes until things actually change in some areas. And I gotta say, I'm gonna keep on addressing it because I do appreciate the comments, and I don't necessarily disagree with your comments. I know a lot of you guys are probably more educated currently. I'm too busy at this point producing broadcasts and keeping myself fit to pay attention to digging into people's profiles. But what I will say is I'm really hopeful, actually, that we are moving into a space in the near future that has completely and totally verified racing. And this is where we're at right now. Maybe it's taking a little bit too long, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that we're going to continue moving forward and that you're all interested enough to watch it, even though you're kind of like, what's happening here? So obviously you all really, really care. And so do we. And that's why we're here and we're broadcasting it. And we're going to continue to try and push things forward. And I think this week is going to be a good testament to that with the Echelon Racing League, as well as what we're continuing to do on Wednesdays. Again, Z Racing, it's the introductory space. A lot of times this is, the Zwift specific events with Z Racing. This is meant to be, hey, come and jump in, check out racing, see what it's like, and then go into those other spaces throughout the community to get really, really invested and involved, Dave. I mean, I think that's really where it's at when it comes to this whole scene.
Yeah, Nathan, I don't have a lot more to add to that. I mean, I agree with you. We're on the same team here. Always want to see fair racing, want people to have fun. And I hear you. I understand what people are saying.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to head on over to ZwiftCommunityLive.com for updates on everything that's happening. Last week's podcast was actually on a lot of what we were talking about just now. So go ahead and head back to last week's podcast. I think it was episode number 71. Anna was back on the program. We'll be back live all day tomorrow, starting at 11:30 Central Time for the TTT in the Zwift Racing League. BL13's final 2 races of their series are coming up on Wednesday. Echelon Racing League.
Is that really it? I can't believe that we're going to wrap up that series. I've had so much fun with
we're
that.
still figuring out what December is. We'll have a Wednesday December coming pretty quickly. But yeah, BL13 is going to be wrapping up on Wednesday. Those have been absolutely great.
They've been awesome.
Really loving that. And then obviously Zwift Grand Prix is coming up on Thursday with the women's racing. We've got the podcast number 72 on Thursday. That's this week. And then ERL, we've got a lot of broadcasts coming at you. So if you like them, make sure to hit that follow button, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. We just, again, I'm going to mention it again. We did break that 13,000 marker. We're actually well over that and heading toward 14,000 on YouTube at this point. We really appreciate all of you for all the support that you've shown. But we'll see you tomorrow for ZRL. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And as always, ride on.